What's good, everyone? OJ here. Welcome back to another video, and today I'm going to be going over my top 5 most hype PlayStation 5 exclusives. Sony has been really hard at work on a lot of different PlayStation 5 games that they showed off at the recent Future of Gaming event for the PlayStation 5. So I wanted to go over my top 5 games. There is some cool third-party stuff, but you guys all know what PlayStation is about when it comes to their first-party studios. They have a lot of great stuff coming up, and I wanted to go over those top 5. So let's go ahead and get right into it. At number 5 is Sackboy, A Big Adventure. So this game is pretty magical in my opinion, because what they did is that they saw something like Super Mario 3D World, Super Mario 3D Land, whatever the case, and said, hey, we can do that too, and let's just slap our most childish looking mascot that we can get on there and have him jump around with friends and everything, and it can be pretty cool, right? And yeah, you're right about that. It is pretty cool. So Little Big Planet has went from a 2D level creation type of dream situation to a Super Mario 3D World clone, which is not a bad thing. Super Mario 3D World is actually one of my favorite games of all time. I've beaten that game so many times. I beat that game with my daughter too. So the fact that I can get a Super Sackboy 3D World on my PlayStation 5 at some point is pretty dope, because a lot of people don't make games like this. 3D platformers with multiplayer, I mean, that's just not seen, and there's going to be online multiplayer in this one, which Super Mario 3D World does not have. So I'm all down for this. Sony describes Sackboy's Big Adventure as take Sackboy on an epic 3D platforming adventure with your friends. Nice, clean, cut, simple, to the point. It looks like Sackboy's Big Adventure is going to be a big hit when it comes to the PlayStation 5 at some point. We don't have any type of launch release window or anything, but I'm guessing it's either going to be sometime this year or it's going to be next year. Maybe it doesn't launch with it in November, maybe it comes out December, maybe it comes out early 2021. We just don't know yet. I think they're still working out the fine details with the game, but overall it looks really good and it looks polished and the graphics are nice and clean. Obviously nothing that you couldn't do on like a PS3 or a PS4, but at the same time it's not a huge budget type of game. You know, it's just like a cool 3D platformer that you can play with your family and friends. So I'm all down for it. Moving on to number 4 is the remake of Demon Souls. So let me give you guys a little bit of history with Demon Souls and myself. I remember playing this game back in the day. I think it was 2009 when it first launched. We didn't have all of these clones that you guys see, right? Demon Souls, Dark Souls, these are some of the most cloned games out there. Developers like rushed to just copy them, but back then we didn't have that. So when gamers first got their hands on this, when I first got my hands on this, this was a completely new and different type of experience. It really was innovative. This was true innovation in terms of what the landscape of gaming would become and what people thought gaming could be for the core gamer out there, for the person who wants a little bit more of a challenge. Because at that time period, while we were having great games that were difficult and everything, there wasn't a game that said this game's going to kick your butt over and over and over without any difficulty options, not on like, you know, hard or whatever the case is, but just the standard mode. It's going to destroy you. Oh, by the way, you can raid other people's towns and take their stuff. Oh, you'll also be hints of people that have died, and you can make sure that you don't do what they do or do what they do if they're successful, and they can leave messages for you. It was a complete innovation that really nobody saw coming, and so many people have replicated to this point. So for them bringing back Demon Souls completely remade and looking absolutely beautiful is something that I'm actually really hyped for. And not necessarily to play as much, just because I don't play these type of games that much anymore, but just to see the type of community that's going to be around this game online. It's going to be nuts. I watch all sorts of streamers that play Dark Souls and Bloodborne and all these different types of games, and I absolutely love it. It is entertainment for me. So I'm gonna buy the game and I'll check it out. I just don't know how hardcore I'm gonna get into it like I did back then where I beat it. But to me, it's really about the community of people who love to play these games and all the great hours of content that I'm going to get by watching people speed run this and play through my first experience with the Souls series. So at number 4 is the Demon Souls remake from the the awesome people over there at Blue Point Games. They know how to do a couple remakes or two, huh? At number 3 is Spider-Man Miles Morales. Now, we do have some more information on this game when it comes to it. It is going to be more in line with an Uncharted Lost Legacy or the Lost Legacy situation. It is not going to be a full type of game that you would expect from the original like Spider-Man game. So I do have my expectations tempered just a little bit, but there's a lot of nice upgrades and things that they're doing to this game in order to make it better in terms of the quality. Like I said, it's not going to be as big as what you would expect from like a Spider-Man or Marvel Spider-Man 2, but at the same time, there's still a lot of good stuff in here. So it does have instant loading, 3D audio, ray tracing, and an overhauled city. So they're making a lot of improvements to this game, and it stars my favorite version of Spider-Man, Miles Morales. I mean, he's just dope. If you have not seen Into the Spider-Verse, watch that movie Into the Spider-Verse, and then that will get you excited for this. Now, it is maybe just a little bit of a letdown that it's not a full next Spider-Man adventure with Miles Morales, and I'm hoping that it leads into that, so I'm guessing that it is, and they probably just run out of time when it comes to PlayStation 4 to PlayStation 5. This was probably set, or they were probably thinking about putting it on PS4, but ended up just saying, hey, you know what, PS5 is coming out, let's just make it that. But that does make it an interesting game for people to pick up when they buy their PlayStation 5s this holiday. So I'm excited for it. I'm definitely going to play it after watching Into the Spider-Verse. Miles Morales is just a dope character, and he looks great in this game here, so I'm excited to get through and play it. And to be honest, if you look at the tech that they're doing with this game, upgrading it for the PlayStation 5, I mean, I think it's going to run and obviously look and play a lot better than what we saw with Spider-Man on the PS4, so I'm excited for that. At number 2 is Horizon Forbidden West. Horizon Zero Dawn was one of those massive PlayStation 4 games that was shown off at like 10 E3s in a row. And yes, I'm exaggerating here, guys, but I remember just seeing this game over and over and saying, man, when can we be able to play this? I remember going to E3s multiple times and looking at this game and saying, okay, well, here it is, Horizon Zero Dawn again. But when it finally launched, they launched a polished, great, an amazing looking brand new IP that captivated players worldwide and sold over 10 million units. And they wasted no time making sure that they're going to have a Horizon Zero Dawn ready to go early in the life of the PlayStation 5. And that is awesome. Aloy has never looked better based on what we've seen here, and all the additions definitely gave me some Breath of the Wild vibes with the climbing and the horseback, well, the mechanical horseback and all of that, and the swimming and stuff that she can do in this game. She really is kind of braving the wild a bit more than she did beforehand. I'm hoping that they add tree cutting. I think tree cutting would be dope. So I'm hoping that they add a little bit more environmental play like they showed off there, which is a good thing, guys. If they're copying Breath of the Wild, that's not a bad thing. Breath of the Wild is one of my favorite games of all time, and it looks like they're taking some inspiration from that game in addition to adding their own spin, which is just like the beautiful world and some of the other things that you could do in Horizon Zero Dawn that obviously isn't in Breath of the Wild. Plus, the story is also really good too. The story is one of those things that's highlighted in that game. So it looks like they're going to have the full package when it comes down to Horizon Forbidden West, which is set for a 2021 release. They did clarify that, but we don't know when in that time frame. I'm guessing it's going to be around the anniversary of the original Horizon Zero Dawn, which would be 4 years in 2021, which is crazy that it's already been that long, right? 4 years since the original release, or will be 4 years by February or so of next year. So we're humming along right to that. So I'm guessing it's going to release sometime in that area, but you never know with game development, right? But overall, Horizon Forbidden West is looking absolutely amazing, and I can't wait to see more of the actual in-game combat and gameplay of what they've done to actually take it to the next level on the PlayStation 5. And at number 1, we've got Ratchet and Clank: A Rift Apart. And guys, what can I say about this game? This had to be number 1 on my list because out of all of the PlayStation 5 games that were shown at the event, this game to me had the biggest impact because it showed what a PlayStation 5 game could actually be. A lot of these other games that we've talked about while they maybe showed gameplay, they necessarily weren't graphically like the best, like the Sackboy Big Adventure or stuff like that. Marvel Spider-Man, that looks like they're just taking kind of like the PlayStation 4 version and just saying, hey, let's get it a smart delivery, right? But then also add some more to it. I mean, Horizon, we saw some cool stuff with that, right? But there wasn't a lot of like the actual in-game gameplay and what you're going to be doing there. Ratchet and Clank, A Ripped Apart, did it all, guys. It showed us amazing graphics that are like, wow, that's definitely a step above what we saw in the PlayStation 4 version of Ratchet and Clank. They showed us an amazing trailer, which gave us the concept of the game that was as clear as day. It's in the title and it's also in the trailer, but then they also gave us raw gameplay, as in, hey, this is how it's going to look with your HUD and with what you're doing, how you're shooting. This is how the game plays. There was no smoke and mirrors. There was no tricks. There was no, okay, you'll see something later. They gave us everything that we could possibly want. The only thing that we don't know is the launch date. So I'm guessing it's going to be a 2021 game. But even if it is, I don't think it's going to be too far out in the first like year or so. So I think that is absolutely amazing. And that's why it hits #1 on my list, because they showed us the most with that game. And I think that it gave us the best concept of what the PS5 can do, from like the instant loading and stuff like that, with the rifting apart to like one dimension to like another. It's really cool what they did there. And like I said, the graphics look amazing. They got a brand new female Lombat that you can use as well. So it looks like they're putting so much time and effort into this game. So I had to have it as #1 on my list. So there are a number of other PlayStation 5 exclusives from first-party developers or first-party publishers that I did not talk about. So if you have any games that maybe I missed, let me know what your top 5 is in the comment section below. All right, guys, that wraps it up for this video here. Check out the links in the description. We've got Twitter. Go and give us a like and a follow on there. Stay up to date on all latest gaming news and information. Also, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, and share this video if you can. Thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll catch you for the next one. Peace.